addicts, welcome back to the American Girl Addiction. I am going to be comparing the Mattel era Kirsten and the 35th anniversary Kirsten. At least I think she's called Kirsten. I called her Kirsten from 2007 when I started collecting, really till now when I saw their new birthday video and they said Kirsten Larson. But, I mean, technically, I think the first official pronunciation was released in 2011. So, I called her Kirsten for a long time. So, if I switch back and forth in the video, I'm sorry. So, I got my Mattel era Kirsten when I found out she was going to retire in 2009. I had to wait till my birthday of next year to actually receive her, but we did purchase her when we found out they were going to be retiring her. And then this 35th anniversary Kirsten, I just got this past week. So it'll be kind of interesting. One thing that's really interesting about Kirsten is there have really only been 3 official versions of her. They have the Pleasant Company, who had, I believe, longer bangs, slightly shorter, more of a dull blonde wig, and the slightly wider face. She, like the other Pleasant Company dolls, also had a bigger diameter. So instead of the 11-inch waist, it was more like 11 and a half or 11 and a quarter. So again, I'm not entirely sure because I've never actually seen a Pleasant Company Kirsten in person. But, yeah, so I imagine she's like the other Pleasant Company dolls where she has the bigger waist. But, yeah, so they had the Pleasant Company version of her. And then Mattel had their own version, whom I have here on the left. She was slimmer, and her hair was longer and a little shinier. And her face was slimmer too, but that kind of fits with the whole body thing. And then now they have this 35th anniversary doll. As you can see, I do not have the Pleasant Company Kirsten. I think I would still like to get her just because I have Molly and Samantha and it would kind of round out the original trio. But I don't have her right now, so this will be a slightly shorter, less detailed video. Especially because I feel like all the differences for Kirsten are pretty straightforward. So right away you notice the dresses are kind of different colors. And my Mattel Kirsten, she's only like a decade-ish old. So from 2009 to now. So a little over a decade old. So I don't think most of the differences in coloring are due to aging, because I got a new one. I took really good care of her, but that is always possible. But you can see the colors in the outfit are more muted on the Mattel side than the 35th anniversary. And in a way, I think I like the Mattel version more because for some reason it's not homemade. It was made in a factory, but it looks less synthetic and like it was manufactured. Whereas the 35th anniversary one, it looks like, yes, this was kind of made on an assembly line. It's still very cute, and it's a really good recreation. I think it's probably better than Felicity's recreation, because Felicity's was a lot more like the Be Forever era, although then again, we never got a Be Forever Kirsten. So, I don't know, but I feel like, yeah, so the dresses are different. The boots are also, I don't have the Mattel Kirsten's boots out, but they are slightly different material. And again, I don't think that's because of aging. I think it's just, they've made it years later. American Girl uses different materials now, whatever. So yeah, so the dress colors and the apron colors, they're slightly different for each version of Kirsten. But overall, it's a pretty good recreation. I feel like the one on the right is more like how people remember Kirsten. Like when you look at photos, the colors are much more sharp and vivid than I feel like they were in real life for Kirsten and her products. Speaking of colors, you'll probably also notice that the hair color, the eye color, they're darker on the 35th Anniversary Kirsten than on the Mattel. The Mattel's eyes are a lighter blue, and her hair is not as like deep blonde. The color is not as intense and rich, which it feels weird to be saying rich when I'm talking about a blonde doll, but that's kind of how I feel. And I think the wig qualities are pretty much the same. The thickness and everything. Again, mine's pretty old, but I think her wig, well, they're both mine, but the Mattel one is pretty old, but I think the wig has held up really well. Back to their faces, their lips are different, not as different as the versions of Felicity, but the Mattel era dolls, I've mentioned this in my other videos, they often look like they're wearing at least a little bit of makeup, and most of the Be Forever dolls look like that too, but the 35th Anniversary dolls don't have that look. So she almost looks like the Mattel Kirsten, but if you wiped off her lip and her lipstick and her blush, or I guess lip gloss. So those are the main differences. The neck strings, I believe, are pretty much the same. Yeah, so the colors, you can see some pretty, not huge differences. They're not that big, but they're bigger than some of the other dolls. Like Molly, I mentioned this kind of in my Felicity video, where with Felicity and even with Kirsten, I feel like you could take the different versions of her, switch up their outfits, and you would still know exactly which one was which. But for Samantha and Molly, I think, especially Molly, I think it would be a lot harder. I still think they did an amazing job with Kirsten, and it's awesome. So many people, I think Kirsten is the one people have been most excited to buy, because you actually have not been able to purchase a Kirsten from American Girl since 2009, unless they had some extra in stock in 2010. But yeah, you had to buy it on eBay or Mercari. So this is a very unique, awesome opportunity to finally get a Kirsten if you don't want to pay like a ton of money on the internet. And her accessories look pretty good. I was looking at them. I think the bonnet is definitely bigger. I don't have them out because my dollhouse is kind of a mess, and I wanted to get this out there so people can make purchasing decisions. Most of the accessories, there's not a huge difference. I did comparisons kind of them, just what I remember. And Kirsten's one of the few dolls where I have all of her accessories. I just don't know where they all are because, like I said, dollhouse mess. But yeah, I think they did a pretty good job. The bonnet, like I said, it is a little bigger, I think, more poofy. But other than that, they did really good job, attention to detail there. So yeah, Kirsten is a great doll, and it's awesome that they're letting people buy her now. I think that she does look a lot like the Mattel, but I feel like definitely if you have a Pleasant Company Kirsten, she's not going to look as much like her. So don't feel like, oh, I'm getting the exact same doll again. If you have the Mattel, I still think there are some key differences you can see here, like with the meat outfits and some of the coloring of the doll's face and stuff. But yeah, overall, definitely recommend. Kirsten is awesome.